Thank you very much. My name is Bankole Agenian, and again, I'd like to say I'm very, very encouraged by everything I've seen and I've heard from this conference. A popular saying goes that be the change you want to see in the world, and to that end, I mean, I just kind of like to share what I'm kind of trying to do by myself to kind of be that change. This year, I mean, I kind of set up an enterprise charity. I lecture in a school where I teach business and IT. And what I've kind of started, I mean, is to kind of encourage young people to kind of develop entrepreneurship. And I mean, put their ideas in place, and to that end, kind of, I mean, raise money through venture capitalists and individuals alike to support these activities. And I believe, I mean, the changes that we're going to see in the African continent, I believe, I mean, is going to be built through enterprise. Over the years, I mean, we've often asked ourselves, I mean, what has the government done for Africa? And I mean, there's a collective disappointment in what we see in Africa, in a sense. And I guess, I mean, we all kind of complain and we feel bad about everything going on. I mean, the fact, I mean, the lack of development and all that's going on. But I believe that, I mean, if that change is going to happen, it's going to be through us, in a sense. And at the moment, I mean, I'm kind of raising awareness. I'm kind of raising awareness for what I want to do, and I believe, I mean, this is an opportunity for all of us to kind of network, talk with ourselves, and the ideology should be we. I mean, so I mean, Kayode, what you said, I mean, I think is it's poignant in a sense. It's we. What can we do? I mean, not I, but what can we all do to impact change? And I believe, I mean, this is an opportunity for all of us to network and in our own little way contribute to each other. And I mean, move the vision for changing the world, not just Africa, but the world. Thank you.
There were just a couple of comments that you made that I was interested for you to clarify, if possible, Olusegun. I think you said that the president of Botswana, perhaps he was more competent because he was partly foreign.
No, that's not what I meant.
It was just a banter.
Okay.
And what I was saying there was the measure of corruption. I mean, when we look at it, the indices are there that corruption is rife, evidently, in Black Africa.
Okay.
So it's more of a banter that, oh, well, maybe the foreign genes in him is what is being dominant, you know, and it's not so much as a function. But from the facts we see, I don't know what the black race has done that we cannot sustain success. We can't manage our resources. It's about I, and that's why, again, my brother, thank you. Let's look at it collectively.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I felt that was quite interesting because a lot of people would argue that the British government is actually the most corrupt, but anyway, we can have this conversation.
It will be interesting. Let's see the facts.
And then another comment was about Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes.
And I think you said that they were more literate because of the French assistance or something?
No, again, it was something in my own thinking. I'm like, why does Cote d'Ivoire have that level of literacy compared with its neighbors? And I'm like thinking, well, is it the French influence? It's a question I'm asking myself. I'm not saying authoritatively that's what has happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I don't really mind. Unfortunately, again, it's directed at Ezekiel?
Yes.
Mr. Ezekiel?
Yes, sir.
Because you made mention of, obviously, the black continent being associated with corruption.
Yes.
But I would like to clarify and point it out, also in this part of the world, the corruption is strife, but it's neater.
Okay.
Please.
Can I also...
I will not be happy with us walking out here with this thinking up.
Okay, can I also say something? There's corruption in this part of the world, agreed. But what is the outcome? You know, how has that corruption affected the generality of the people?
Okay, because I built my empire on the back of blood, does not mean it's clean. Yes, I sit down nice and smiling, we're smiling here, but we built it on the back of blood and doing bad things. Now, unfortunately, again, our dearly beloved Africa, as we say, is a young continent. They've had, what, hundreds of years doing it. When I was studying politics, a quote from my lecture, I'll say this to you. He said, when you want to build nations, you call us. We have had experience at building and destroying nations. That's what my English political lecturer said to me when I was studying politics. So it's that whole idea of we've been there, done that. We know what we've done. Africa, you're just starting, your babies. Keep trying, watch it for a bit. Another 100 years.
But what have we done with those resources we've got? Have we used it to, look at the Commonwealth in Nigeria, for example. Why will someone who in a year put together does not stay more than 50 days in this country and has put homes
5 or 10 or
running into tens of millions of pounds, is that the function of the British still, or still a mental state that probably, from what you're saying, that suppression over the years, the pedagogy of the oppressed that has come to play?
I don't want us to digress so much from what we are supposed to, from the outcome of this whole meeting. Because corruption in the wider sense, if we start discussing it here, we'll digress too much from the focus of why we're here, which I believe is possibly to kind of network, you understand, and build a bigger forum for the future. Because when you look at corruption in the wider sense, at the end of the day, our politicians, are known to steal the money and bring it here. What is Her Majesty's government doing about it? So it's wanting to blame the thief, but the associates of the thieves also, should be accountable for the thief stealing. You understand?
Thank you very much for that. we've got another question.
Let's not digress.
Hi, I've just got a quick comment. So it's regarding what the first gentleman said about, it being a collective effort and, how it sort of needs to be we rather than I. So my comment is just basically not to forget, or how do we sort of, include the Nigerians who were born here or who came here at a very young age? Because I believe like a snowball effect would, I think that's what we need in order to bring about this change. So not like secluding people who may not have like that personal, personal hunger to change the negative aspects of Nigeria. So how do we then, bring aboard those who maybe only go to Nigeria for holiday for 2 weeks and they enjoy it and that's it? Yeah, that's one.
I would assume that question is for me. I can just only give you a practical example. Quite a number of us, and this goes back to this thing about going back home or staying where you are, and I am one of the people who will say it doesn't matter where you are, it's what you do where you are. If you're a good citizen in the United Kingdom and you're Nigerian, you're doing something positive for Nigeria. We're all going to be parents, and I know quite a number of us are parents here, and I've got 3 children, I've got 3 girls, and they are British, there's no debate about it. This is their country, but they are British with an African heritage, proud Nigerian heritage. And I'll just give you one example. They're very simple things. My daughter came back home one day, she just turned 16, and said to me, "Oh, Dad, we were told Black History Month. We were told about Chaka Zulu." And I'm like, "Oh, really? So what was it about it?" And she narrated the story in school, you know, about how the British went to Africa, and then the Chaka Zulu story, and how they sort of subverted the whole story to suit the narrative of the conqueror, you know. So what I did was I had to sit her down. I'm not from South Africa, but I first had to read about Chaka Zulu and read the perspective of the African and the people of South Africa and the Zulus. You know, I had to go to, luckily, my South African friend who is Zulu, and then sat with my girl and said, "Look, that is the version you've been taught in school. This is a reality from the people, the Zulu people." And she went back to school and then sat her teacher down and said, "That story, you know, is not a real thing." So bringing it back to Nigeria, once we have kids that are born here, as parents, we need to engage with them. We need to tell them, not trying to deny the fact that they are British. Look, this is our country. This country was built on the sweat and the labor and the blood of our people back home. So those who choose to stay here, is our country. We are the new colonizers, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. But we need to educate our children to be able to have the confidence that they are here, and then that's the best way to go forward. Education, more education to people who are British and who are born here, and invite them. Don't just invite them to Wizkid concerts and P Square. Just forums like this, and they will get to learn more about the homeland.
Thank you very much. One more question.
It's not really a question, it's more of a comment. I just wanted to say very well done to the organizers of this event. And